What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Tony Dubz here with a special edition of Chronic Confusion. A little quick rip, if you will. So load up a bowl, roll a blunt, spark it up, and let's discover today if I am a sexist. Now, I've been curious about this for a while. I've been debating it in my head. Am I sexist? Am I not a sexist? Am I somewhere in between not and am? You know? Do I really care? I know I'm not a misogynist because I don't hate women. If I hated women, it would be very hard to work where I work. So this is from PBS.org. Of course, I'm in Kentucky. Kentucky, baby. So KET is our affiliate there. And this is by Laura Santanam. Laura some bitch. I don't know. I'm going to say Laura Santanam. I think that's right. So this is a quiz. Number one, many women have a quality of purity that few men possess. A quality of purity that few men possess. Well, I mean, I don't understand already. Like a quality, so like you see women as innocent, as they should remain clean and virginly and stuff like that. No. I mean, I don't think that of anybody. I think people should be individuals and do whatever makes themselves happy. And, if some guy's standard is to have a girl that hasn't gotten around as much, then he should be allowed to have that standard. If a woman has a standard of a guy that's has a lot of experience or no experience, no purity, a lot of purity, whatever, then that should be their prerogative. I don't think it's inherent to anybody to be pure unless they're like 12 or something. I don't think that's what we're talking about. So, I'm going to say I disagree. Maybe just somewhat. Because, I mean, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe I'm just stupid. Next. Women should be cherished and protected by men. Again, maybe like, your specific relationship, maybe like if I'm with a girl, we're a unit together, I would cherish her and I would feel obliged to protect her in certain means, but I feel like that would go both ways. It's your partner. Like your partner, you're going to protect your partner. You're going to cherish your partner, whether you're the man or you're the woman in the situation. There's going to be a certain amount there. Now, it's biologically a fact that, most women are, physically weaker than men. So, yeah, if there's, a situation where a woman is being accosted by a man that's bigger than her, I might be obliged. I might feel obligated to step in and do something. But in general, should we one sex be protective of the other just by default? I think we should just be that way towards all people. Really, I mean, if I saw a little scrawny dude, being picked on. I might say something. I might step in and protect him. It doesn't. No. So women should be cherished and protected by men. I'm going to say, God, these are so vague. Like, this should really, like, this is, like, that's the problem with this whole fucking thing of, like, sexism and feminism and these things. Like, it's so general. Like, it's so... you can't just assess everything on a case-by-case individual by individual basis. It has to be women should be cherished and protected by men. And I know, like, at least I think that from the feminist perspective, from the non-sexist perspective, you would have to just disagree with that. Women don't need your protection or your cherishment or whatever. But I'm going to disagree with it just because I think it's an individual thing, you know? So, strongly? Do I strongly disagree with it? Again, you know, because if it's your partner, then yes, you should feel obligated to cherish and protect them. So I guess slightly or somewhat. Gosh, PBS. Laura Stanthenham, your quiz fucking sucks. God. At least she doesn't have blue hair. No, there's anything wrong with blue hair. I've had blue hair before myself. I know somebody will undoubtedly dredge up that fucking picture from 7 years ago. Hey, I was having fun. Get the stick out of your ass. Disagree, I guess. I don't even know. I'm going to say somewhat. Gosh, he's already. Question number 2. I'm already on the retarded. Like, this quiz is retarded. Women seek to gain power by getting control over men. Women seek to gain power by getting control over men. Again, I think this is something that applies to both sexes. I think that anybody who seeks power is looking to have control over somebody or something. I mean, what else drives you to want to have power? You want to be the person at the top, so you call the shots. You know, nobody likes to be ordered around. So whether you're a woman or a man, I would think in especially any kind of job or something like that, yeah, women and men both are going to seek the power and try to have a controlling stake in the company. Maybe have some people under them. But I guess they're speaking socially, generally, women seek to gain power by getting control over men. There are some women like that out there. All you got to do is go on Tumblr to see that. Twitter, you know, but especially Tumblr. I just, no, because I can't say that I disagree strongly, because like I said, everybody is vying for power in some way. There are some passive people out there that are probably just happy not to have power. They just want to go with the flow and get through life, which is really how I am most of the time. But you know, it'd be nice to have some employees, you know, or just something. I know I keep relating it to a corporate structure or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. Women seek to gain power by getting control over men. Some do. So I'm going to have to say, but again, some men do it to women too. So it's like this test itself is sexist to assume that this only goes one way. It's the old fucking double standard. I'm just going to disagree strongly with it because, again, it's an individual thing. Some people crave power, some don't. It doesn't matter whether men or women or anything in between. Every man ought to have a woman whom he adores. What? Every man ought to have a woman shouldn't every woman have a man that she adores? I mean, not every. I mean, some people are asexual. Some people just have given up on the whole dating romance thing. You know, there's the MGTOW movement. Whatever, you know, like I'm not a member of any of these things, but yeah, every man ought to have a woman. If he so desires to have a woman who he adores, shouldn't he have that right? And again, vice versa. If a woman so desires to have a guy or a woman or whatever that they adore, what's wrong with that? I mean, I don't know if it's saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just a question, but it's Like, it's odd. Obviously, we're trying to find out if I'm a sexist here. So you obviously automatically you think that the test is weighted, right? Like, it's like you're trying to find out if you're a sexist. So of course, the questions are going to have some sort of uh, 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 I don't even know what you call it, but like fuck it, I don't know, like a motive, an ulterior motive. Like, we're gonna ask these questions that are supposed to definitively tell us whether you're a sexist or not. So of course the questions are gonna be based in sexism, but again, it's a one-sided thing, so it's stupid. Every man ought to have a woman whom he adores. You know what? I'm going to agree slightly with that, because again, that's an individual thing. It's, if that's what you want, that's what you want. You should have that, or at least work to obtain that. Again, vice versa. Either way it goes, whatever you're into, if that's what you want in your life, you should be allowed to have that. Now, it's not a guarantee that it's going to happen. Again, the scene out there with the dating and whatnot is a little wishy-washy sometimes, especially these days when the concept of romance is so blurred, and I could go on for days on that too. So I'm agree slightly, I guess. Just because, again, it's a case-by-case basis. I don't understand these generalities. Men are incomplete without women. I mean, we can't procreate. We can't create new life without each other. So again, this is the most ridiculous, and we still have friggin' God, there's 17 questions on this test. Oh my God. You know what this test should have been? It should have been one question. Are you excited for Ghostbusters 2016? Yes or no? No. Well, you're a fucking sexist then, buddy. I need fucking questions. Come on. Now, I'm joking about that, by the way. In case you couldn't sense the sarcasm in my voice. I'm not a fan of the new Ghostbusters, but, fuck. Why did I even go there? It has nothing to do with the women's. Ugh. Alright. Men are incomplete without women. I don't even know what to do with that. Again, what? Oh my God! Somebody, I'd rather be waterboarded right now. Holy Christ! I'm just disagree. Are incomplete without women. So if I disagree, I'm saying that men are complete without women. I mean, what define complete or incomplete? What does it even mean? It's an individual. Again, for every person, it's an individual thing. For me personally, I don't really plan on having kids, at least not anytime soon. I mean, I probably should get on it soon. I'm getting kind of up there, but it's not something I'm actively planning on. So I mean, I would like to have a woman in my life, and there is one, but she's, whatever. But it's like, if not, I don't feel incomplete without somebody, but somebody out there might. I don't know. I'm going to say slightly, because again, it's a case-by-case thing. Like, I mean, yeah, we can't carry on the species without each other, but if you've decided that you're gonna be gay and you're gonna like dudes, that's cool. Well, not decided. If that's how you are, whether you're a man or a woman, good. But then how does this question apply to you then? Again, with the funny, it's weighted, for guys to take this and decide whether they're sexist or not. So when are they going to make one for women, huh? When is there going to be a "Are you sexist" test for women? That's what I want to know. I disagree, so that means I'm saying, well, slightly. That means I'm saying men are complete without women. But really what I'm saying is that complete is defined by you, not me. It's not a general thing. It's something people just decide. Can we just agree on that? Like, what is, again, generality? Why is it all fucking blanket shit? Am I happy with that answer? Gosh, man. Women exaggerate problems they have at work. Oh, man. Whew. This is a tough one for me. And if you know what my profession is outside of this here YouTube shit, which doesn't really pay, so I don't know why I'm including that. But if you know what I do for a living, you know why this question is a complicated one for me. But again, this is a person-by-person basis. Yes, I've known some women that I've worked with that definitely exaggerate problems. I know some that don't even acknowledge problems. You know, they just go on about their fucking day. So, again, I know men that exaggerate their problems. It's women exaggerate slightly. I gotta disagree slightly because, again, it's not all. It's not. What the fuck is this thing even doing? What is this test? Once a woman gets a man to commit to her, she usually tries to put him on a tight leash. I know men that put women on. I mean, again, if you're a gay couple, there's. This is what I'm doing instead of hanging out with my buddies up in Cleveland, Ohio at a CKY show. This is what I'm fucking doing. What has my life become? Once a woman gets a man to commit to her, she usually tries to put him on a tight leash. I mean, shouldn't that be like, I don't know. Again, men, you know, some people are in open relationships where there's like pretty much anything goes as long as they come home to each other at the end of the day. You know, some people are, you know, monogamous and they're not jealous people. So, you know, they go out with their friends, you know, separately, you know, and then there's some people that are really overprotective, manipulative. I can't even say that fucking word. You know what I'm trying to say? Controlling, you know, there's all kinds. Personally, if I'm in a racial, I'm more on the monogamous but loose side of things. Like, you know, yeah, go out and have fun with your friends. I'm gonna stay here and play PlayStation, or I'm gonna go out with my friends. You know, things like that. I mean, because the only thing I've ever found from putting somebody on a tight leash, it just makes them want to get to break that boundary or whatever. So once a woman gets a man to commit to her, she usually tries to put him on a tight leash. I'm going to say agree slightly just because I think most people want monogamy, you know, in their relationships. I think most people want that. So if you want to call that a tight leash, I guess. But I mean, if we're talking about checking text messages and emails and phone records, that's a little much, you know. So, but, you know, somewhere in the middle there, I think most people fall there. And I think I fall there in the middle. It just depends on what you want out of a relationship, I think. When women lose to men in a fair competition, they typically complain about being discriminated against. All women? I mean, is that what I'm supposed to be answering here? I don't think so. Again, men, when they lose, they come up with just as many fucking excuses. Like everybody, I think all people that lose, at least once in their life, have come up with an excuse as to why that happened. You know, oh, if I hadn't have been this, then I wouldn't have lost. Well, okay. When women lose to men in a fair competition, they typically complain about being discriminated against. I mean, doesn't everybody? I mean, not everybody in a in a discriminatory, like, oh, you're just discriminating against me, but everybody comes up with excuses for losing a competition. You know, there's always Even if it's excuses they blame on themselves, there's always excuses, but discrimination. Now, see what the author is trying to do here. What the person that made this test is trying to do is they're framing. I finally just figured this out because I'm probably a little slower than most people. But they're framing women as in all women are feminists. So, or at least with the thought that people are going to see this test, and when they see women, they're going to think feminists. That's the people that they're aiming for with this test. That's their definition of sexism. So basically, when you hear about women saying that, like the woman that was trying to join a fire department and they had to lower their standards because she couldn't pass the physical, whatever the hard part of the test, like the actual going through the motions and all this stuff. Like, she did great on all the written stuff and whatever, but when they got to the fucking hard, I guess it's an obstacle course or something, I don't know how it works, but when it came to that, she didn't pass. But for some reason they had to lower their standards so that she actually did pass, and she became a fire, or maybe they didn't, and maybe that was the story. I don't remember. So in that case, was she saying she was being discriminated against because all the guys could pass the test, but she couldn't? And we're supposed to believe that all women just do this. So, I mean, no, I don't think that all women who lose in a fair competition cry discrimination. I think there are some. I think there are men that do it. I mean, it depends on the competition. It depends on what's at stake. There's a lot of people out there these days that don't put a lot of stock in science, and what biology actually says about the differences between men and women. So yeah, there are definitely people that on both sides of the fence that will cry discrimination if they feel they've lost a competition unfairly, or even if they unfairly. I mean, because just losing in itself is enough to get some people going. So I'm going to disagree somewhat, because again, it's these general things. I don't see how you could disagree strongly on any of them. Many women get a kick out of teasing men by seeming sexually available and then refusing male advances. So what's many women mean? I mean, I've again, in my line of work, I definitely see it, and I've heard girls talk before about how they've teased guys and they enjoy doing it. It's funny to them. It's a game to them. I've heard women talk about this stuff before. Now, granted, I would argue that most of them that I've heard talk about this only do it to guys that they actually do plan on fucking eventually. But at first it's just kind of like a hard to get kind of game that they play. I don't think it's anything malicious. I mean, from a guy's point of view, it's malicious because, we just want to get our dicks wet. You're teasing us. So, yeah, I mean, it happens, but many women, I don't know what many means. Many women get a kick out of teasing men by seeming sexually available and then refusing male. Well, okay, well, all right. Well, does it also mean, is this person trying to say that any woman that maybe dresses provocatively or maybe gives a man a wink from across the room or accepts a drink that he buys for her and does a little bit of flirting, or even rule out the flirting, not even flirting, just, casual glances and what she's wearing and things like this, is that considered sexually available? And then when a guy comes up to talk to her, she's like, get the fuck out of my face? Is that what we're talking about here? Again, these vague questions, which again can be a case-by-case fucking thing. Many women doesn't mean jack shit. I don't know what that means, many women. There are some women, like I said, who get a kick out of teasing guys. It happens. I'm sure there are men that get a kick out of teasing women. It happens, you know. But as for me personally, I do know women who get a kick out of teasing men. But again, from my recollection, most of them do end up getting with these guys that they tease. It's not just I'm going to tease him just because it's funny and I'll never fuck him. You know, like it's usually it leads to fucking eventually, or maybe even a relationship. Novel idea. So I'm going to disagree slightly. I mean, I'm probably going to be a sexist here because I'm kind of middle of the road on all these. Women, compared to men, tend to have a superior moral sensibility. All right, hold on. Women, compared to men, tend to have a superior moral sensibility. No. Like, again, what does superior moral sensibility? What does that even mean? Morals are morals. I mean, I don't really believe in like the whole objective morality thing. I think it's kind of depends on who you are and where you live, what your culture is that you were brought up in. But a man-woman thing, how? What are we even talking about here? Superior moral sensibility? On what grounds? That's what I don't understand. There's not enough information here. And you know what? This is the one I'm going to disagree strongly on, just based on the wording, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Women compared to men tend to have a superior moral sensibility. No. I don't think it's the other way around either. I don't know. Alright, so fucking moving on. Men should be willing to sacrifice their own well-being in order to provide financially for the women in their lives. Does it mean like if he has a dangerous job, and he's providing for a wife, maybe a family? If that's the arrangement that they entered in with their marriage, then sure. Again, case-by-case basis. If women and men should be free to decide how they want to live their lives. That's why I don't support feminism and things like that, because, things like feminism say you have to follow these sets of rules or else you're not truly for women or whatever. Even if you're a woman and you don't adhere to all the the basic tenets of feminism, which the dictionary definitions all equality, but blah, 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 blah. I get it. But you can't deny that there's a whole bunch of shit on Tumblr and a whole bunch of shit on Twitter and elsewhere, blogs and whatnot, that kind of are these feminists saying, hey, these are the things we need to, these are the morals we should fucking have, and all this type of stuff. So, basically, if you say that yeah, of course, if a woman wants to be a housewife and the man wants to provide for her, no matter what his job is, he should be allowed to do that. You say, oh, that's patriarchy. Women shouldn't be housewives anymore. We are just as capable. But yeah, if they want to do that, I understand there are some feminists that are on that side of things that say, hey, if a woman wants to do that, she's a woman, that's her prerogative, go for it. But the popular narrative these days is that, women shouldn't be provided for. They should be providing, at least, mutually with their male counterparts, I guess. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can be, women can provide, for the household, or men can. Whoever is the better off in the fucking relationship, I think, is the one that should take those reins. And if both of them equally can go out and work and provide, then they should do that too. But if kid comes along, somebody's got to take care of that kid, and I think that comes down to whoever has the least paying job. Just being honest. If the woman has the higher paying job, I'm sorry, but she's the one that's going to have to go back to work. once that maternity leave's over. Or both of them if they can afford a good nanny. Men should be willing to sacrifice their own well-being in order to provide financially for the women in their lives. I mean, it's again, if that's what you want to do, then yes. I'm going to agree slightly. Feminists are making unreasonable demands of men. I kind of am going to have to agree more on the somewhat side of that. And not even just of men, of women too. I mean, there's people in general. I mean, it's like you can't just be a normal person anymore. You have to walk on eggshells and have Google handy at all times to be like, is this sexist? Should I say this or not? Should I do this? It's like, no, like just whatever happened to people just being people and having fun and having conversations, talking, sharing opinions. You can't even share opinions anymore because if your opinion doesn't match up with what the fucking other person or the other person's opinion, they can fucking run off to their safe space and say you harassed them or something. You know, it's ridiculous. So, yeah, I would say somewhat, actually I'm going to say slightly, just because I think it goes both ways. I think they are making unreasonable demands of everybody, and not just men. And I don't understand how that applies to sexism in the first place, because if you don't support feminism, you're not saying I don't support women. And again, despite what you all want to say, it doesn't mean that I don't support equality of the sexes. It means that I call that something different, which is what it was always called, and that's egalitarianism, and I don't want to fucking hear the shit. Anyways, what is your gender identity? For real? So this plays into whether or not I'm a sexist or not. So if I'm a white male, if I'm just a male here, that is automatically what gives me a couple points. Oh shit, results. Hostile sexism describes behavior that overtly threatens, intimidates, or abuses women, especially those who defy male-dominated power. All right, my score is 1.83. The average man is 2.24. Average woman is 1.6. Oh, that was on the hostile scale. Benevolent sexism perpetuates gender-based prejudice more subtly, feeding the notion that wonderful but weak women need men to help and protect them, and ultimately justifies gender inequality. Let's see what that says. 1.67. Average is 2.3 for males and 2 for women. I don't even know what these fucking numbers. I guess I don't even know how she comes up with these numbers. But I mean, sure, okay, I guess I'm a little bit sexist, but do I care? No. Because I don't agree with your scale of determining sexism. Again, the questions were very fucking weighted, very vague, very general. You can't, like, people don't, like, if you go around in your life and you do everything based on generalities, like, if everything you do is just, okay, great, the air conditioning kicks on. That's gonna be on the video. But if you just look at the world through this blanket belief system all the time, like, you're doing it wrong. There's nuance in the world. There's individuals in the world. There's people. There's, no two people think alike. I mean, yeah, a lot of people share similar opinions and whatnot, and some people are followers, I mean, that's proven by feminism itself, and MRAs, and MGTOW, and all this shit, it's, individuals are the important thing, in my opinion, and that's just how people are. We can only look at shit through our own eyes, and everybody else is doing the same these so it's like, we can't apply these general statements and these general things to people, because you do end up with, these things are sexist. Why? Why is it sexist to want to protect somebody? Why is it sexist to want to provide for somebody? There's nothing wrong with that. If your partner agrees, if your partner's like, sweet, yeah, fucking provide for me, or yeah, maybe I do need you to protect me every once in a while. Nothing wrong with that. And again, it can go both ways. So I mean, again, your test is convoluted, and Laura Santhanum. I bet I said it right that time, and I didn't even mean to. I don't know what to tell you, babe. All I can say is, like, maybe come up with a test that's not so general, not so vague, and I'll take it again, and maybe I'll put a little bit more weight into it. But the way it is right now, yeah, I don't care. Your numbers mean nothing to me because it's all generalities. It makes no sense. And so, yeah, I guess that's it. I'm sexist to a certain degree. I'm below average, but I'm still up there on both scales. I'm way, let's see, which one? It's about the same. Close to the same on each one. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Dubz of Chronic Confusion. I'm a sexist, and you probably are too.